And as we said, Ron Gregory will bring the field down.
Brian Clauson going for the sweep here tonight. He has a pretty good start in spot, Jack, inside row number 2 in the 3rd spot.
Last week's runner-up in the midget race, Dave Steele, will find himself on the inside of row number 4.
Former race winner Eric Gordon will be outside row number 6 in the 12th spot as a former sprint car champion Dave Darlin there outside row number 8. Cameron Dodson inside row number 9, got in the fence, Jack, in turn 2 in hot laps, hit the fence in turn 4 in qualifying.
And Aaron Pierce, Brady Short, and Scotty Weir will round out our 21-car starting field. Our onboard camera tonight, well, we decided to go with last week's winner, as the IndyCar Series onboard will be with Brian Clauson as you ride along to see if he makes history this evening. Now, what about our Optima Batteries fast lines, Rob?
Well, the big story of the night, can Brian Clauson double up here at Salem? Tough to pass here, pass or fail. You got to try and make your move as quick as you can. Very tight points battle, and patience, patience, patience. Keep those tires underneath you. 50 laps here tonight at the High Banks.
At red car, Darren Hagan. He is Brian Clauson's teammate. And the yellow car on the inside out of the Gary Irvin stable, the 23 of Ron Gregory, will bring this field down. Green is out and on the brake. It's Hagan into the lead, but look at this battle for second spot.
Ron Gregory into second. Clauson tries the inside. The 69 Hoffman Auto Racing entry of Tracy Hines now into third, but same book, new chapter for Darren Hagan as he led early in the midget event, out front now in the sprint cars.
Hagan, a winner of one of the qualifying heats this evening, but the heats don't pay anywhere near as much as the main event does, and there's very little prestige with winning a heat race. On board with Brian Clauson, currently in the 3rd spot. 22-year-old Ron Gregory loves what he does. For Gary Irvin and company, this has been a pursuit of passion, and for Ron Gregory, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. Darren Hagan continues to lead this 50-lap USAC National Sprint Car race. Ron Gregory in that 2nd position. 3rd to Tracy Hines, and Brian Clauson holds on to the 4th spot. As in the early laps, it has all been Darren Hagan. Very similar to the performance that he put in, Rob, in the 30-lap midget main event.
Yeah, trying to turn things around. You know, Darren Hagan very upset.
Oh, look, up on the high side. Problems with Ron Gregory. Gregory gets into the wall out of turn number 3 as we see it from the onboard with Brian Clauson. What a tough break as the caution comes out for the former pole sitter, Ron Gregory. An early out for this 22-year-old youngster. And Tom Hansing shows the yellow flag for the first time this evening. Let's go back and see, Rob, if we can discern exactly what happens to this young man in the Gary Irvin Racing Special, as he had qualified so well. 6th fastest time. You can see the sparks coming off of Tracy Hines' car, and he just gets up in the wall and leaves that Hoosier stripe, and it takes its toll. Smoke coming out of the right side.
Brian Gerster right behind him in the Winchester Furniture Showroom's car number 27. Good run for Gerster there as he leads 3 red cars. The 14J there, 2nd in line is Mark Jessup. Started 9th, racing for the 6th spot there as he tries to the inside of Gerster down the long back straightaway. Mark Jessup, we saw him down at Richmond this year, had a pretty good run. Pretty much focuses on the pavement in the sprint car division.
Gerstner currently in that 6th position, but wants to try and hold off the 14J, as you said, of Jessup. And right behind Jessup, you see a brief glimpse of the 11 being driven by none other than?
That would be Dave Steele in the 11 car, followed by another red car, the 62 of Jay Drake. A lot of red cars tonight here at Salem.
Well, in open wheel racing, Rob, red cars have been a color of choice ever since they started racing. Dave Steele started in the 7th spot, really has not made any impact in terms of moving up through the ranks, as we now have 10 laps of the 50 scheduled in the record books. It might be a bit early as we go back on board with Brian Clauson in your IndyCar on board.
You can really see Brian working the wheel, especially in the corner. The car seems to be locked down pretty good. He's really not sawing on the wheel.
Meanwhile, Darren Hagan starting to show some handling challenges with that 71. But Tracy Hines has not been able thus far to capitalize as he rides in that catbird seat. And directly behind him, the man we ride with all evening, Brian Clauson. And then look at Hagan. He just had a major crash and kept it off the wall.
He did a great job right there off turn 2, but Tracy Hines won this race back in 2001, of course, in that world-famous Kroger Tide, Bounty Pringles, Mopar-powered Hoffman Auto Racing entries. A battle heats up for the 3s. Now Clauson on his back bumper as they race down in turn 3.
And Clauson having to battle with the handles on his car as well.
Darren Hagan now behind the 63 of Rex Norris to put him a lap down, so lap cars could come into play as Hines one more time tries to the inside of the 71. Here comes Brian Clauson.
Oh, Clauson tries the inside, almost loses it there, loses a couple of spots at over 100 miles an hour. How did Brian Clauson hold on to that car? Here comes Tracy Hines going downstairs, challenging what seems to be a wounded Darren Hagan, number 71.
Hagan doing all he can to try and stay out front. Very loose off turn 4. Hines on his back bumper. 50 laps here tonight, but Tracy Hines wants to take the lead here as soon as possible because he knows the 67 as you ride on board. Brian Clauson's on his rear bumper.
So, Rob, does that mean that as far as Matt Neely is concerned and as far as his seat is concerned, he's going commando?
It's possible that's what that could mean.
Back here, still under green, though, it is Darren Hagan, who is on a mission trying to hold off the number 69 of Tracy Hines and this man, Brian Clauson, in this tussle for the lead in this 50-lap main event.
Well, kind of a 3-car breakaway right now as Levi Jones trying to run him down. Hagan trying to the inside there. Cameron Dodson, former Auto Value Super Sprint champion, as Clauson almost into the back of the 50M car. Loses little ground to Tracy Hines as they race down in turn 3.
As we look carefully, I wonder, has Hagan cured some of his handling woes? No, you could see it almost sideways there out of turn 4. Now down into turn number 1, Tracy Hines tries to capitalize out of 2, but just doesn't have enough oomph, despite the fact that Hagan gets that 71 about 45 degrees sideways.
Yeah, and this racing in front of him is allowing Clauson to reel him in, as well as the 21 of Levi Jones, as Tracy Hines again tries to the inside of Darren Hagan. We can see 3 wide here down the backstretch.
Draws a bead there, hub to hub. Remember, it's open wheel. Down on the outside comes Clauson. Clauson uses his teammates' move to get by and take over that second position. It is now Clauson in second. Hines drops back to third, but not for long. Problems. Oh, problems with the 71. Just slows right up. Darren Hagan, who was led almost from the get-go, finds no power in that number 71, and it gives his teammate Brian Clauson the new lead, second leader of the evening.
Well, Brian Clauson, a fantastic move on the outside of Tracy Hines as Hines went for the pass for the lead. Caution comes out for Hagan. So Hines goes for the pass to the lead on the inside. Clauson says, I'm going to try the outside. He actually takes second, and then the next turn actually gets the lead with Hagan falling out. Wow, a little drama.
We are
here.
back finally to green flag action, and on the break, as he has done after every restart, it has been Brian Clauson out front and pulling away, and now Tracy Hines has his fill of one Levi Jones.
Well, Clauson got a pretty good jump there on Tracy Hines. I don't know if Hines fell asleep or what, but Clauson begins to pull away. Hines will try and have to run it back down now as Levi Jones in that third spot. Brian Gerster still fourth as Clauson a little sideways there off of turn number 2.
And getting into the mix now is the 14J of Mark Jessup as he starts to pick up the hunt. So what was first a 2-car breakaway, then a 3-car breakaway. Now it's about a 9-car conga line, and everything is up for grabs, Robs.
Well, Brian Gerster started back in the 8th spot, currently runs 4th, passing 4 cars here at a track that's very tough to pass. So give a call to Brian Gerster right now in the 4th spot as he'll try and run down Levi Jones. But Tracy Hines slowly reeling in Clauson as we go on board down the long back straightaway here at the High Banks.
And do you see the way Clauson has to actually reverse the steering wheel? That's how much stagger they got in these cars. He's actually turning the car right to keep it straight at 110 miles an hour.
Well, you know, we've said this place is rough. You kind of almost run it like a dirt track as you're kind of slipping and sliding through the corners here. But Brian Clauson doing a fantastic job here. As you see, the car hooked up pretty good right along the fence in turns 3 and 4, kind of similar that we see the Cup guys over at Darlington.
Brian Clauson having a fine ride. Tracy Hines, likewise, but Tracy Hines is not satisfied with that second position. He has done a couple of parry and thrust trying to see if he could challenge Brian Clauson for the lead, and it has not worked to his advantage. Likewise for this young man in the 14J. He has been tap, tap, tap on the rear of the 20 of Josh Wise as Wise gets a little loose, and the Jessup car just isn't stable enough for him to complete any sort of a pass for position.
Yeah, Mark Jessup kind of squirrely off the corners there. As we heard Dave Steele say last week, in the midget cars, it's easy to pass, or easier to pass, I should say, in turns 1 and 2. Very tough in 3 and 4. That's where you're seeing these guys, with the exception of Clauson, is he went top shelf around Hines like he was standing still. But Mark Jessup, you're right, trying to the inside there of Josh White as they race off turn 2. And a lot of cars still all bunched up here as the laps wind down.
That is Dave Steele in the 11 car, directly behind Jessup, and then Bobby Santos III runs in the 98. But look at Jessup. Jessup and Wise, they look almost like synchronized sliding coming out of the corners as these cars are breaking traction everywhere.
Yeah, that's what makes Salem so neat. You're extremely fast around here. The high banks, the side-by-side racing, the bonsai slide jobs, the top shelf moves around the outside, and you're slipping and sliding. Look at that. Looks like there's a tether on the 14J.
Clauson continues to lead, but this is where the battle is enjoined. Jessup goes downstairs yet again, side by side. Can he hold on, gain the momentum? It slips away from him, so now he goes top shelf, as you say, up in turns 3 and 4. But Wise will hold on, or does he? Across the stripe, Jessup will contest that position. That, of course, is 5th. Clauson continues to lead, however. We are back here at the Salem Speedway, and this 17-year-old youngster driving for Target Chip Ganassi as we wind down the laps here with Dave Steele not having the type of night that he had hoped for, but he alluded to it when he said it was going to be tough to pass.
And of course, when Dave Steele tells you it's tough to pass, he means it. He knows this place very well. Two-time winner of this event in the sprint cars, and I tell you what, one of the veterans, he's got Jay Drake behind him, Bobby Santos back there as well, as Josh Wise doing a great job to hold these guys off.
And with a car that is at least a little bit ill-handling. Now, you say it's tough to pass, but Dave Steele continues to do a tattoo on the rear chrome of Josh Wise.
Trying to get Wise a little loose there as they race down in turn 3. Bobby Santos kind of just hanging out here tonight in the 9th spot behind the red 62 Hannon construction of Jay Drake.
This is a 4-car tango for the 5th spot. Your leaders have pulled away. That's black 67 of Brian Clauson, as we said, with less than a half mile to go, and he will join some very elite company if he can hold off Tracy Hines on this final lap. Jeff Gordon has done it. Pancho Carter has done it. Dave Steele has done it. The question now is, can 17-year-old Brian Clauson score the Salem sweep at the line? He does. And his crew celebrates as Brian Clauson joins Jeff Gordon, Pancho Carter, and Dave Steele as Salem sweepers.
Brian Clauson is our 2-time feature winner here tonight, winning the midget and the sprint race. Brian, a lot of times first-timers might be scared of a track like this, but apparently there's not much of a learning curve for you.
No, we got help coming out and testing the midgets here, and running Winchester before definitely helped us. So we come to a place like this, it's just the same thing as what we've done before, and we're kind of trying to just hold back there the first 20, 30 laps and kind of save our tires, and just kind of try and keep the leaders in sight. And a lot of times these pavement tracks get to be chess games, and we just made the right move at the right time.
Well, you mentioned that it wasn't easy to pass around here, and you certainly avoided that for most of the race.
Yeah, we were able to take advantage of mistakes, which is a big thing here on, especially on pavement tracks like this. Just being at the right place at the right time and being ready to pounce on mistakes, and not let a guy get away with a mistake, and being able to pounce on it, take advantage, and get to the front. But I can't say enough about the guys. Both cars were just absolutely awesome, and we were able, once we got out front, we were just able to kind of cruise there, and Keith was talking to me on the radio, talking me through it there, and as we were getting a little winded there at the end, but it was just awesome, and I can't thank all the guys enough again. Pete, Keith, Bo, Hal, Dan, Yogi, all the guys, just can't say enough about the stuff they put me in and the cars they give me every week.